Welcome everybody to the Political Machine 2016. As always, I'm your host, J John Jeremy, and we're about to run for the office of President of the United States. Now in this game, you're able to decide the game length, the amount of starting funds each campaign has, and the difficulty of the campaign. You can also randomize certain options in game, including the state's population, state wealth, demographics, the issues of importance, and disabling random events. For this particular playthrough, we're just going to keep everything as you see it. This is Campaign 2016. A new terrorist threat, a still contentious healthcare reform package, and new domestic issues have tempers flaring across the political spectrum. Get ready to lie, cry, pander, and slander your way to victory. And as you all voted in the announcement video of this series, we're playing as a custom-created character, John Jeremy. Now, unfortunately, the game does not offer an independent party or faction. You must play as a Democrat or a Republican. So, I thought to myself, well, why not play a campaign as a Democrat and as a Republican? Just to show you the two sides and see if there really is any difference in politics. So for this current playthrough, we're playing as a Republican. John Jeremy. He's a pretty average candidate across the board. Not too bad in stamina or fundraising ability, average money that determines our initial funds, and sixes down the line. The only option here that does not have a 6 is in religious bias. This candidate does not believe in pandering to people who vote with their Bibles. However, minority appeal, media bias, intelligence, experience, credibility, appearance, and charisma are all 6s, and we'll go through what each one specifically means shortly. But the question that must be on all of your minds right now is, who will John Jeremy be campaigning against? Well, considering his prominence in the poll, where he was second on the list, we will be campaigning against Bernie Sanders. He has the same stamina and fundraising ability that I do. I have a slightly better starting initial fund. He has better charisma and credibility than my character, and a better experience and intelligence line. He also does have some religious bias, but I have the better minority appeal. So, on with the campaign. The race for the White House is underway. The curtain has raised, the bell has been rung, the gloves are off, and our two candidates, John Jeremy and Bernie Sanders, are coming out of their corners. Hailing from New Jersey, Jeremy leads the Republican ticket against Democrat Vermont native Sanders. The two have a long road ahead of them, 52 weeks of campaigning, advertising, and traveling throughout the country, trying their best to prove their worth as the next president of the United States of America. Which one will emerge victorious? Only time will tell. So here is the game map to the Political Machine 2016, and you can see that our opponent, Bernie Sanders, is already making his way over to California. In this particular game, our actions are done simultaneously with the AI. So as we start a week, we have the option to immediately go into we immediately are able to hit the campaign trail, as is our opponent. There's no delay, unless you want one. In this case, I'm talking to you right now, so we didn't obviously move our character, and already Bernie Sanders has finished with all of his moves. Let's dig a bit deeper, though. First, how do you win in this game? Well, you win by being elected President of the United States. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with how that actually happens here in the US, let's give a high-level overview. Basically, what you want to have happen is this. This is the current political strategy that enables us, the Republican Party, to emerge victorious in a presidential campaign. As you can see right here, the majority of the map is red, and there are blue states, particularly in the Northeast and in the Northwest. We need a certain amount of electoral votes in order to become president. The number right now is 270. This plan, as is right here, would give us 295 versus our opponent's 243. Now, how do you gain electoral votes? Well, you gain them with the votes of the people in their respective states. However, don't be fooled by the popular vote. There have been instances in the US where the candidate who received the most overall votes was not the candidate who won. That's called winning the popular vote, but losing the electoral vote. And I believe that's also an achievement in this game. But this particular strategy here would allow us to gain enough electoral votes to win. Now, you may say to yourself, well, how do you know which states have the most electoral votes? In this game, they give you a handy-dandy map that shows you exactly which states are most prominent. As you can see right here, California, with 55 votes, is the brightest shade of purple, followed by Texas, New York, and then we've got Florida down here, and don't forget Pennsylvania and Illinois with 20 apiece. Now, Bernie Sanders' home state is Vermont, and he has 3 electoral votes there. Mine is New Jersey, and I have 14. So I have the edge as far as the home court advantage. I don't know if I'll actually win New Jersey. It's kind of a split state right now. As you can see right here, 44% are Republican, 43% Democrat, 13% undecided. So it's a potential fight to see who will win in New Jersey. Not so much in Texas or in California. Those are kind of steady as far as Republican or Democrat. So, now the question is, how do you gain the votes? You gain the votes with awareness. People need to know who you are, and they need to know where you stand on the issues. So as you can see right here, the only state that really knows who we are is New Jersey right now, where we have a 20% awareness rate compared to our opponent's 5%. And as far as where we stand in the issues, let's take a look at the poll. So right now, the top voter issues in the nation are fighting ISIS, resettlement of refugees, supporting gay marriage, securing the borders, a strong military, hashtag Black Lives Matter, higher minimum wage, addressing climate change, all other issues. And we do have the lead on fighting ISIS. We're kind of split on the resettlement of refugees. Bernie Sanders has the lead on supporting gay marriage. I have the lead on securing borders and a strong military. Bernie Sanders leads in Black Lives Matter and a higher minimum wage, as well as addressing climate change. That's the national poll. Don't forget that when you're in an individual state, they have specific state issues. In this case, New Jersey's top 3 issues are the legalization of marijuana, fighting ISIS, and the resettlement of refugees. You can see that here in state details. You can also see in this where Bernie and I stand on the issue. So in the legalization of marijuana, I oppose the legalization of marijuana, but it's not been a major focus of my campaign. In fact, I'm a 2-issue candidate, really, when it comes to this game right now. The game allowed me to put points into particular issues. And my points on the issues are strictly on, at least the ones that I put in, fighting ISIS and in a strong military, which isn't on this list right now. There it is, right there. Strong military. Those are my 2 issues that I put points into. The game has kind of randomized the rest for me based on the fact that I am a Republican candidate. And you can also check your opponent's same issues over here. So he leads in Black Lives Matter, in the resettlement of refugees, supporting gay marriage, which is to be expected. So, by raising awareness in these states, by speaking on your stance on certain issues, you will see your awareness rise and you will see people start to vote for you more frequently, or have the chance to vote for you when it comes down to election day. So, Bernie Sanders has finished all of his moves. Let's start making ours. First things first, you see this building right here? This guy right here is an election headquarters. And right now that gives us $10,000 per week. The top 10 issues are available to us and we get a slight awareness bonus. And that's in our particular state. Now we do have an option to upgrade this headquarters to moderate. To a level 2, which will give us a $30,000 bonus each week and raise our awareness in our state to moderate. We can also upgrade it to a level 3 building, which would increase us even further. If you're going to do this particular plan, you'd want to do it in the very beginning of the game, because it's rather expensive, and in order to try and recoup your losses, you'd want to get as much of the bonus money as possible. So, we're going to upgrade our campaign headquarters right now to level 2. That gives us $30,000 per week, and the top 15 issues now available to us. We can upgrade it once more if we'd like to level 3, which will give us $90,000 per week and a prolific awareness bonus. That also gives us this guy right here, a political operative. The political operative increases awareness by 1% in the state, and now we need to decide on where this political operative needs to go. I will choose to have him go to Florida, so he can start raising awareness for us right there, even if we're not in the state. As for me, I'm going to make my way over to Texas. Now that I'm in Texas, you can see that the awareness was raised. We're now 7% even with our opponent here. I do have a point of stamina left over, but I will leave that alone for now. And I will go ahead and end my turn. In which case, we will move right on into week 2. So now you can see Bernie Sanders actually making his way over to New Jersey. He did a speech there which didn't give him much benefit there, which is nice for us actually. And then he moved his way over to Illinois. Now that we're here in Texas, we need to go ahead and build now another building. This one called an outreach center. The outreach center will allow us to get endorsements over the course of time, which are important if we want to make our stance known on issues that will increase our awareness throughout the country. So now I've built this outreach center. It's a level 1 outreach center, which gives us 1 PR clout per week. I'm going to upgrade that to a level 2 outreach center, which now gives us plus 3 PR clout per week. Now the game is saying that the only options that are available to us right now, as we are currently at 3 stamina, are to fundraise or to create an ad. Considering our current monetary situation, it might be a good idea to fundraise, but considering our awareness, we wouldn't really get much out of it. So if we take a look at Texas's current top issues right now, it's gun rights, securing the borders, and abortion rights. As you can see right here, speaking to gun rights and securing the borders is a good plan of action if we want to appeal to independents and to Republicans. It obviously won't help us out very well with Democratic voters. So why don't we go ahead and create an ad here in Texas? So by creating an ad, you have 2 options here. We can focus on a ground game ad or a television ad. If we focus on a television ad, it gives us a position on an issue throughout the state and throughout the nation. Plus, it gives us a 4% change to a position per week. It's expensive, however, at $450,000 for just to make the ad in the first place, and then we need to pay $30,000 every week. Instead, we can focus on the ground game, where it just costs us $50,000 and a weekly expense of $3,000. this is where those election buildings come in handy. So, why don't we go ahead and start talking about, in Texas, gun rights. So I can say in Texas that I favor gun rights. You can see that it lowers my Democratic appeal, raises my Independent appeal, and raises my Republican appeal. I can also say I oppose gun rights, which would raise my Democratic appeal but lower my Independent and Republican appeal. I could target my opponent and speak on his issues, whether he supports or opposes gun rights, but remember that Bernie Sanders actually has better credibility than I do because of his experience in politics. So my negative ads won't affect him as great as his potential negative ads could affect me. So no mudslinging this go around. Let's go ahead and talk about gun rights here. I favor gun rights in Texas. I'm John Jeremy and I endorse this message. So we've got that ad now in place here in Texas that will help us over the course of time. That has spent all of our stamina, and with that, we will end our turn. Now, Sanders is going back to New Jersey for some reason, and he's built another election headquarters there. And he's also built an election headquarters in Florida now as well. Now he's going to Washington, I guess just to hang out over there. Okay. In the meantime, let's focus back over here on the main map. We could move around a bit, but instead I want to focus on Texas awareness because we want to start to consider using Texas as a fundraising state for us in the future. So let's go ahead and give a speech. And we can talk about how we want to favor gun rights here in the state, which increased the awareness nicely, and the electorate is more in our favor. That doesn't cost us any money, however, it does cost us quite a bit in stamina. I'm going to go ahead and give another speech, saying that I'm also in favor of securing the borders. That didn't help us as much as the first one did, but it does increase our awareness in our state, which is nice. Now we have one stamina left. The question is, do we want to travel anywhere with it? And right now, I don't think so. I think I'm going to stick right now to Texas. We are still getting PR clout. We have 3 PR clout. In order to gain a endorsement, I believe the first endorsement costs 9, maybe 10. There's a political opportunity in South Carolina. So if we decide we want to take on this advantage here, we're going to make our way over to South Carolina. And we have a movie director willing to join us. A movie director has decided to slum for a while in the world of political advertisements and join John Jeremy's team, cutting advertisement production costs in half wherever he is stationed. That is excellent news for us, because as we build more and more upon our advertisements and perhaps focus on television in the future, we would certainly love to have a movie director here decrease the overall cost of the ad in half. So that's great news for us, actually. So why don't we go ahead and move our way back over to Texas. And we will continue to give our speeches here. Once again, I will focus on gun rights here. All right, so the state, for the first time, has gone bright red. And what that basically means is that state is firmly in our camp, with Bernie Sanders having difficulty in trying to make it blue. So 59% in our favor, 32% for Bernie Sanders, 9% of the voters in Texas undecided. And again, we could theoretically make another ad here, focusing on things like securing the borders as a ground game ad, which again will cost us some money, or we can decide to make some traveling arrangements. In this case, though, I'm just going to go ahead and create that ad. Ground game, securing the borders. I favor securing the borders, and that will raise our Independent and Republican appeal. So now we have 2 ads running right now in Texas, 2 ground game ads. I could have placed the director here. However, there is a reason why I didn't. One of the things that you can hire as part of a political operative is what's known as a fixer, which can remove the opposing team's political operative from the campaign. I would rather him not remove this movie director before I've made use of him. So hopefully I'm able to hold him off to the side. I have not yet attempted this, so we shall wait and see. And that, I believe, will be the end of the first video here. As you can see right now, we have our first bright red state. It is the end of week 4 out of 52. If we take a look right now at the polls, I have 202 electoral votes versus Bernie Sanders' 336. So as of right now, if we were to vote, Bernie Sanders would win the election. It's our job to try and make that not happen. Will we be successful? Well, the next step to that will be next time. Hey everybody, J Square John Jeremy here. Just want to thank you all for watching this video. If you want to see me try and fail at another video game, go ahead and click the left-hand thumbnail. If you want to keep track of this channel, click the right-hand thumbnail and subscribe. And as always, I look forward to your feedback, so please post in the comments section below or reach out to me on social media. Until next time, this is J Square John Jeremy signing off, saying so long and take care.